Now, this has a lot of us asking, what exactly does this all mean? Here to answer those questions again with us this morning is UW professor and political expert Mike Wagner. Good morning, Mike. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Good to be here.
So if an impeachment trial wouldn't happen until after President Trump leaves office, why hold it at all?
Well, I think that those who voted for impeachment in the House and those who already support the idea of conviction in the Senate think that the president ought to be held accountable for his actions. And even if his term would end, an impeachment vote, if successful, which would require a two-thirds majority, could then trigger another vote where lawmakers could choose by a simple majority to then bar the president from seeking federal elected office again. So in other words, if impeachment was successful in the Senate, if the conviction was something that occurred, the president couldn't run for president in 2024.
So it does take two votes. It takes one vote with a two-thirds supermajority to convict him, a second simple majority vote to bar him from holding future office. But how realistic is it to get that two-thirds supermajority in the Senate at this point?
It is a real challenge. There are a few senators, Senator Toomey from Pennsylvania, Senator Sass from Nebraska, Senator Romney from Utah, Senator McConnell from Kentucky, who have at least indicated either publicly or privately that they're open to this idea, and Senator Murkowski as well from Alaska. So there are several Republican lawmakers who are at least open to it. 10 in the House voted for impeachment when none did during the president's first impeachment. So the ground is softening, and the more time that passes, it could be that the president is able to rally support and diminish other senators being willing to, on the Republican side, to vote for conviction, or it could be that we learn more and more about what happened at the Capitol. So far, the more that we learn, the more we learn how violent it was, how well organized it was, and how well planned it was. And so it could be that the more we learn, the more Republican lawmakers would be more supportive of the idea of convicting the president in the Senate.
You mentioned those 10 Republicans in the House who voted for impeachment. That include the third-ranked leader in the House. I mean, that's the most bipartisan impeachment vote in history. Certainly a difference from President Trump's first impeachment. What changed here?
Well, I think one thing was that the lawmakers themselves were the subject of the attack. I mean, the House and the Senate had to be evacuated while Congress was engaging in its constitutional duty of certifying the electoral votes, and it had to be evacuated on a day the president told his supporters to go to the Capitol and let lawmakers know what they thought. And so I think that that is one thing that's different. It's much clearer what happened to folks in the Republican Party than maybe it was during the first one. It's also notable that some of the Republican lawmakers who voted for impeachment represent Trump districts, which is different than most examples of votes for a member of their own party to be impeached that have happened in American history. So that's also notable as well.
Very interesting, certainly historic. Professor Wagner, thanks so much for your time this morning.
You bet.